There's so much that we can dig into, but I think like the nuts and bolts of people that don't understand, I heard you reference it, but a really good friend of mine is David Green. And man, what a nightmare if you guys have not heard that story. And like a guy like that, if that can happen to a guy on that level, you feel like, but it's one of those things that I don't think people realize how bad it can get or how crazy the laws are until it's
Yeah.
already too late. And it's like, well, what do you mean? Like it reminds me, like I had a friend who was going through like a mental health thing. It was like an endangerment. And it was like, you call these people and you're like, here's 100 reasons why this is going to end wrong. And they're like, there's nothing we can do until it's too late. And you're like, how is that what the policies are? But I feel like that's kind of what happens here. So I guess starting the whole
It
thing
is.
off, man, how do squatters legally take over a house?
So basically, they're exploiting the law that says that once you're in a house, you're afforded the rights of a tenant, essentially. And so the police officer, when he shows up, he's got a he said, she said situation where one guy is saying, I live here. And the other guy is saying, no, he doesn't. Like, kick this guy out, take him to jail. And the problem is, if you're a police officer, hauling somebody out of a house that they may live in and arresting them is if someone just showed up to your house with a and said, "Hey, this guy doesn't actually live here," and pulled you out of your house that you own or are renting legally and took you to jail, that's not a good thing. And so there's not a whole lot of instances of that happening, but the cop is unfortunately actually kind of sticking his neck out in that situation, and it's a situation that can be exploited. And essentially, how they do it is they have some level of credibility to the police officer or anybody else that they actually have the right to be there. So, they break into the house, either forced entry or figure out how to pick a lock, move some friends in, move in some stuff, and just try and stick around for as long as possible so that, like, the neighbors will wave to them, they're recognized. And so by the time that someone discovers it and someone shows up and calls the police, there is an ounce of credibility to it so that law enforcement is not able to say with, beyond a reasonable doubt that this guy shouldn't be here. So that has been exploited nationwide. Red state, blue state, purple state, all points in between. My favorite part in the comments whenever the video gets reposted is this wouldn't happen to me. I would just, walk in with a shotgun, or it wouldn't happen to me because I, live in a red state. And this BS only happens in blue states. Like, dude, trust me. It's everywhere.
It's so crazy. So look, I never realized it's like the shadow of the doubt in like today's day and age. Everybody's worried about winding up because I could picture like, the guy comes there, the cop shows up at the house and he's like, this person can't be here. And then the bad person, the person breaking the law is filmed them like, you see those stupid videos on TikTok, like, officer, what's your badge number? Da da da. And now they're
Oh,
like,
yeah.
am I really like willing to lose my job for this? Like, probably not. So I see what you're saying, man. It's like they have that genius of they only have to post a little bit of a shadow of a doubt in the mind of the person to be like, I'm not 100% sure. And if I'm not 100% sure, I'm like, oh, this is going to be somebody else's problem for another day.
Yeah, and if you're a police officer and you've had cameras stuck in your face all day when you're just trying to do your job, I mean, you've got to be a little exasperated at this point. So then if you got a guy, even if you know, like, hey, this guy probably is telling the truth about this guy not being supposed to be here, you're just less likely to take action on that because, there's a system for this that's outside of their purview, which is the court system. And if a person shouldn't be there, then like go to the court system. Well, the court system sucks. Well, yeah, that's not my problem. So no matter where you are, it's difficult to evict a tenant at zero cost. It just doesn't happen. Even in very landlord friendly states, if you're just going to evict somebody, it takes a while. And then the ejectment process, which is the process that you do if you weren't supposed to be there in the first place, in a lot of cases, in most cases actually, that actually takes longer. And
Oh,
that's
wow.
something I talk about in the squatter defender course.